It's Friday the 21st. Do you know where your bloggers are? Okay, that was way too cheesy. Roll the even cheesier text-only titles. Yes, indeed. How's it going, everybody? You got the Razman coming at you with episode 1, edition 1, whatever you want to call it, of the Razman's video blog. And if you didn't know, that was a tribute to the man who I first saw ever do a video blog, one of my all-time longest inspirations here on YouTube, and a very close personal friend of mine, the great Sean McLean, Zarenizerak, specifically Sean McLean's video blog number 2. Now, you may wonder, why am I doing this? Well, I'm going to get into that, trust me. As you can see by the title, we got a lot to cover. But I got to address the cheesiness of the text-only titles. That, of course, is only temporary. I don't have enough footage of me just talking to the camera. I'm always reviewing something. So there's either something in overlay that I'm reviewing, or there's what I'm actually holding to review. I don't have enough footage of just me talking to have made a proper title sequence as of yet. That'll come after 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes, whatever I think is necessary. But this is not the Razman's reality. This is the Razman's video blog. You're going to see this every Friday. This is the first video of the brand new schedule of the channel. Not the show, the Razman's reality, but the channel, Razman's reality. This is the first video of a new schedule, which I'm going to tell you before we get actually into the meat of this video. But the video blog series is going to be just what a video blog should be. It's just going to be me talking to you about what's on my mind, what I want to talk about, or in the case of today, things that you all have proven that you want me to talk about in the past. And it's just a chance for me to be random. But it doesn't go into the Razman's reality because it's not entertainment per se. It's not about movies or TV or wrestling or what other sports that I might decide to discuss. No, this is just me talking about life and my thoughts on life. And so that leads us into, why am I doing this? Well, the simple fact is that I was told by a friend of mine, Sim, London City Girl TV, that she loves watching video blogs. It's one of her favorite things to do on YouTube. And so that got me thinking, well, I had no idea video blogs were still popular, but it can be entertaining to hear people discuss their life. And then I got to looking around about a week ago when I did my Q&A, and I realized that that Q&A was one of the highest viewed videos that I've done in a very long time. So I thought, well, why is that video view count so high? It can only be one thing. People respond to something different from me in terms of structure. They like the randomness. They like not knowing what people were going to ask and where my videos were going to go. So that got me to thinking, I must really have a lot to say. I mean, I know that I always have a lot that I'm thinking about, but I must really have a lot to say that would be thought-provoking to people. So I just decided, let's do something that's not structured, let's do something that's completely random, and let's just let Raz be Raz and see how well this takes off. And you know what? I'm not even going to put that label on it, actually, because I'm going to do this as long as I feel like doing it because this isn't a video series for everybody. The main videos that cover everybody are going to be Monday through Thursday. Those are going to be those videos. The Friday video, this series is going to be all about me being me and me saying what's on my mind and telling you what I've been up to, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So, before I get into the meat of what's on my mind today, let me tell you about the new schedule, because since this is the first episode of the Razman's video blog, this was the most appropriate place to put an acknowledgement of the new schedule. So I discussed the fact that there might be a schedule in the Q&A, and I've decided that there is in fact going to be one. So here's how it's going to work. Mondays will be review days, either something I own for TV or DVD, or something that I've watched recently on cable specifically, because we've already covered the streaming format, which we'll get into. But anything I've watched that I haven't reviewed that I feel like needs to be reviewed will be on a Monday, unless it is a pay-per-view weekend for any of the wrestling companies like it is this weekend. When that's the case, then Mondays will be between the ropes. It will be me servicing my wrestling fan subscribers here on the channel. If it's not a pay-per-view weekend, then Between the Ropes will be your Tuesday videos, because it makes the most sense, because after Monday Night Raw is when there's the most to react to in terms of the current wrestling product, because all the other companies will have gotten through with their weekly shows from the previous week, and WWE's most important show from a weekly standpoint will have taken place. Well, other than NXT, but NXT stands on its own and its own animal, and we can talk about NXT a week behind and be alright. So, again, Mondays are review days unless there is a wrestling pay-per-view. Then Mondays are wrestling days, which I'm calling Between the Ropes days. And on pay-per-view days, when it gets moved to Mondays, then reviews will be Tuesdays. So it'll be flip-flopped depending on what's going on that week. But it will always be, I told you this would be random and virtually unedited, so there you go. It will either be Monday or Tuesday for both of those subjects each and every week. Wednesday each and every week, without fail, is going to be the return of Netflix pick of the week. It's going to be me utilizing that service. I might throw Hulu in there. I might change the name to streaming pick of the week if Hulu comes up with something awesome, which hasn't happened too much yet, to be honest. But I know that Netflix is going to give us a ton of mileage, because yours truly is now a proud user of Unblock Us, which is a app that allows you to change, a site that allows you to change your Netflix country while on the Netflix app. So I can still watch Netflix the same high quality way that I always did through the PS4. I don't have to mess around with the internet. I don't have to be worried about what if I'm lying down and I want to change up when I'm watching on Netflix, because I can switch countries through the app itself. Well, through the PS4 itself, I should say, because you still have to log onto the web and change your country through their website, but you then can go through the app. So Netflix is going to give us a ton of mileage, so we're absolutely bringing back Netflix pick of the week. If you're curious as to how much Unblock Us cost, $50 US for one full year. And then all you have to do is have your regular Netflix subscription and change your DNS signing in on the PS4 or whatever console or device you use, and you're done. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Thursdays is going to be the return of the Recommends series. Whether it's my YouTube friends or my family or my friends here in town, people know that I love film and television. So they're always recommending, as the sun went down there, so you saw a slight fluctuation in brightness there, so that's going to happen. The sun's going to go up and down. Normally I would ignore it, but it seemed rather jarring there, so I thought I'd point it out. Anyway, people know that I love film and television, so they're always saying you gotta see this, or you gotta see that, or you gotta see this if you haven't seen it. So that's what the Recommend series is all about. I did it for a little while earlier before some other stuff happened, and I had to step away from YouTube for a while, and I got behind on other things I wanted to do, but now it's coming back, and it's going to be a consistent weekly series here on the channel. And Fridays is going to be right here with the Razman's video blog. And this video blog is not going to just be me talking about what I've done through the week or talking about what's on my mind. This is going to be the place where your questions can be asked of me and answered by me, because the idea of a weekly Q&A was something that all of you jumped all over, like the old saying goes, because blogging is kind of an old school approach on YouTube. So as the old saying goes, like white on rice. So what's going to happen with that is, beginning next week, every Thursday on my Facebook page, facebook.com/therazman, I am going to be reminding you that, hey, tomorrow's Friday, tomorrow's the Razman's video blog. If you got something you want to ask me, ask it here. You post your questions there, and they will be answered as part of Razman's video blog every Friday. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to answer some of the more frequently asked questions that I always get in place of that. And finally, I'm going to talk to you about something that I've decided and something that was heavy on my mind. And this is also going to be the place where I talk to the guys from the Geeky Crew and give them stuff to talk about from me on Saturday Night Insanity. And my participation in Saturday Night Insanity is now going to be through discussion right here on the Razman's video blog. So if the Razman's video blog covers everything that isn't a set in stone type of deal, then what does Saturday and Sunday behold? Well, Saturday and Sunday is going to be the open days. Saturdays and Sundays will be where you're going to get collection update videos, where you'll get the showcase videos when there's something to showcase, where you'll get the occasional unboxing. Although if I do an unboxing, let's be real, I don't do many unboxings because I like just updating, and I like showcasing because I think it shows better detail anyway, and I kind of struggle a little bit with the cellophane physically, so I don't do very many unboxings. But if I do an unboxing, the few that I do, that I've made a commitment to already through the course of my YouTube career, are the Big Bang Theory seasons every year and the Madden game every year. So those will still be done on release day, because if you're going to do them, then if you're going to pick it up and do them, then yeah, you're going to have to put the video up on release day. So on the rare occasion that something like that comes up, I guess a package would be another exception to that rule. If I got an awesome package, I wouldn't want to wait till the end of the week to open a package in a video blog. So yeah, what'll happen with those two types of videos, unboxings and or package openings, those will go up whenever, and on those days you'll just lucky people get 2 videos in one day. But otherwise, look for everything else that doesn't fit within the schedule on the weekends. Sorry for any angle change at all right there. I was coughing up a storm and I was like, apparently I need to take a drink. So there you go. Which, by the way, that for some reason, that's a question I get a lot, is why do I use jump cuts? Well, simple fact is, I'm not perfect, and I'm going to make edits in a video, and I don't believe in using fades in the middle of a video because then it looks jarring and it looks unnatural. Yeah, you use fades when you're coming in and out of a title or credits, but to use fades when you're in the middle of your main video, that just doesn't look right. So jump cuts for the win. So what's on my mind today? Well, let's start with this, because I made a decision. I openly admit that there are 2 particular YouTubers which I really enjoy watching, which are considered professional YouTubers according to the loose terminology that people want to give that. Those are the people that average between 60,000 and 125,000 views per video. And those 2 people are Charlie, known as Emergency Awesome, and Andre, known as Black Nerd or Black Nerd Comedy. So in watching them and thinking, well, what are they doing that I'm not doing in the last year, maybe year and a half or so, the one thing that really stuck out at me like a sore thumb is the idea of call to action and asking people to subscribe, asking people to get back to the channel, all of that. But I was watching Sean and his episode of Sean McLean's video blog where he first reached the 500 subscriber mark. I know, way back in 2008, little old Sean only had 500 subs. The horror. But yes, in that video he was talking about how he's never gonna ask people to subscribe to him, because if you want to subscribe, you're gonna do it anyway. You're gonna make up your mind within probably the first 2 minutes of seeing somebody for the first time whether or not you're gonna subscribe to them. So in that same vein comes the fan funding. The more I ask about it, the less likely I am to actually get it. I think anyway. I think asking for it every video or reminding people that they can do it every video just rubs people the wrong way, and they're gonna think that that's all you care about is donations and money, and you're not doing this for the fun anymore. I would much rather have the 1,000 plus of you, or maybe a lot of you have dual accounts, so maybe it's closer to 600 plus of you, however many it is of you out there that actually truly enjoy everything I do. You're the reason that I do it. So I would much rather have you be satisfied by what I'm doing than try to bring in the masses, because if people come to me, they're going to come to me naturally and organically. And it's not like the subscription button is going to go away. They can still see it on their screen and they can still hit it. And the fan funding and the Patreon options are still going to be there if they're on any kind of device that's not the YouTube TV app at any point at all, they can see the cards in the video. And I'm sure at some point, because it's becoming very popular, they're much more reliable than annotations ever were. So I'm sure eventually they'll be on the TV app as well. There's ways for people to know what I'm promoting in a video. So the only thing I'm ever going to say now, before I sign off at the end of any video, is going to be what I've done previously that I really liked, or something that I think you guys will really like, but that because we're doing videos 5 days a week now consistently, and if we have Blu-ray updates or what I've watched or something else, sometimes 6 days a week. So with that much content coming out to take advantage of the new 1080p camera awesomeness that is the Logitech C930E, you guys and gals might miss something. So I'll put a card there for that, but I'll also remind you about it in case you just like to click descriptions. Like I'll say there's the playlist for that, or that was the last video if you missed that, and then I'll do the sign off, and that'll be it. So wherever this YouTube channel goes from now until the end of time, if I get supporters financially, or if I reach a higher subscription level, it'll all be because I earned it, darn it, not because I sold out. That's something that's been weighing on my mind for a while, but I had plenty of other videos in the can that already had those things in it, so there was nothing I could do about them. But it's a video blog, it's about being truthful and honest and random, and that was the perfect place to announce the end of that. I'm returning to me. So if you were at all disappointed by the fact that I'm trying to be like everybody else, and that wasn't the guy you subscribed to, I hope that somebody that is still subscribed to me through that knows somebody like that will say, hey, Raz actually admitted that he has been trying too hard and he's just going back to being him. So that, my friends, as they say, is the end of that. I brought this up in what ended up to now be the final episode of The Reality of Insanity, but the guys didn't know exactly what I was talking about because the video was 2 weeks old. It had been 2 weeks since they had done a Saturday night, or been a week, sorry, since they had done a Saturday Night Insanity last week. So I just want to quickly remind them what my Deadpool discussion was so they can weigh in on their opinions. I have a fear about the film Deadpool. I feel like we as fanboys and fangirls have got to go see this movie. We've got to tell everybody we know to go and see this movie, because if this movie fails at the box office, then every comic book film going forward is going to be as cookie cutter and as lame as we can possibly get. Studios are not going to take risk with a comic book film if one of the most risque, truly niche comic book character films does not succeed. So, do you guys share in that fear, or do you think that I'm over exaggerating or overreacting? And now it's time for the first of 2 rants, and I'm going to save the best and most entertaining rant as the one that ends this video blog. So the first rant is simply an extension of the subscriber funding situation that I just talked about, that I've made and changed for myself to make myself better. Quit trying so hard, world. Quit saying, hey, will you check out my stuff if you're a YouTuber? Or quit saying, man, I wish I could be what they are, or I wish that I had the money that they did. Just be yourself and be happy with yourself. If you're not comfortable with yourself as a person, good, bad, or indifferent, then you're never going to be the person that you want to be. So stop trying and just be yourself. Or as the song goes, don't worry, be happy. And finally, you see these guys here? You see them again back there? You know who these guys are? These guys, these green dudes, they're the 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Did you hear what I said, folks? Here, turn up the volume a little bit. Get real close to the camera. Put those hearing aids in. Let me say it again. They're the 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, why am I in such a tizzy about 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Because of something the guys spent the majority of last week's Ants and I discussing. And that is people from the 90s trying to say that things are from the 90s that aren't from the 90s. And that is the one they didn't cover that gets under my skin more than anything in the world. Is people saying, oh, are you a fan of the 90s Ninja Turtles cartoon, Raz? Is that the 90s Ninja Turtles poster? Is that the 90s Ninja Turtle shirt? Folks, unless you're talking about what they did in the comics in the 90s, unless there was a revamp in the 90s in the comics that you're talking about, I got news for you. There's no such freaking thing as the 90s Ninja Turtles. The classic Ninja Turtles animated series, the 2D one that's here and there, began in 1987. So if you're going to reference it, I don't care how you're referencing it. I don't care if you're reviewing an episode. I don't care if you're talking about merchandise. I don't care if you're talking about toys. However it is that you are referencing that Ninja Turtles series, you say the 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Period. That's when the first episode aired. That's what they will always be. The 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Not 90s, 1987. 1987. And that, folks, will do it for this first edition of the Razman's video blog. So I hope you really like the idea of me being random. I hope you really like the idea of this is where you can ask stuff of me, and this is where I'm going to talk about things that have been on your mind for a long time that really don't fit in any other type of video. And really what this series is all about, if you didn't figure it out from today's episode, is it's just a weekly series where we go back to YouTube at its roots, being as simple as it can be. Turning on a camera, knowing you have a lot to say, and saying it. So with that, what can you expect for next week's edition? Well, we're also going to answer another one of the most frequent questions that yours truly gets all the time, which is, what's Razman's reality and the Razman all about, and why do you not go by your real name? And just as a teaser, in 2 weeks on the Razman's video blog, because of where it falls, as it falls next Sunday, August 30th, you will see the return of celebrating my good friend Alexis Gomez, the country singer here on this channel, as I will be talking about the last two shows that I went to, mainly the brand new show on August 30th, which isn't just a show, it's her album release party. That's right, I said it at the end of the American Idol celebration video that I knew an album would happen someday. Well, someday is August 30th, 2015. So you can look forward to the week after that, my reaction to that wonderful night and what I think of the album, maybe. Or maybe I'll tell you what I think about the album in another way. We'll have to wait and see what happens at the show. But for those of you that found me and stuck around because you're also Lexitos, I definitely had to let you know about that. So with that, since this isn't the Razman's reality, I will simply say thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.